Go to boot.dev and use code KINDAFUNNY to get 25% off your entire first year on the annual plan. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/kindafunny.
If you want to get our shows ad-free and our exclusive shows, go to patreon.com/kindafunny.
Today, in the nerdy news you need to know about, what a day to be Kinda Funny's biggest Pokemon fan, because Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen are back, but you got to pay for them. The Supreme Court says Trump can't tariff your consoles, and a BioShock movie is coming to Netflix. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday, February 20th, 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside co-host of the JK Games podcast. It's Jerica Hannah. Hello, Jerica.
Hello. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. Welcome back to the show. I want to say, too, congrats on, your framing here looks great. You can tell you're a full-time content creator now. You're all about it. You got the gamer chair, the nice mic. You're killing it over there. How are you? How's it going? You, of course, have been through the show many a time, but I can't remember last time we got to do it. And I feel like it might have even been when we were like, you know what? I'm quitting the day job and I'm going all in. How's that working out for you?
I think, we were talking a little bit before the show, despite it being pretty dire pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
In the world, I'm still having a good time, meeting a lot of cool people. I'm feeling good. That's all that matters. And Todd Howard kept the spot warm for me this week, so I can't complain.
He got the audience nice and prepped for a good guest. Yes, you're right. What's this shirt you're wearing too? This is a big sweater. What's the sweater say?
Oh, this is I think a French dip design tee.
Ooh wee!
Human imperfection,
French dip does the best stuff.
He does, truly. A lot of good work. Love that guy.
Bring me up to speed. What have you been playing so far this year? What are we looking forward to? How are we feeling about 2026 in gaming?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. And, with JK Games, if anyone doesn't know, we obviously cover the news at JK Games, but it's been something that we want to figure out to make us a little bit more niche, because you can get your gaming news pretty much everywhere. You can get it right here.
Which you should each and every day. No big deal.
No, yeah. I watched it, so I was like, I don't need to
be cool like Jerica. Be cool like Jerica.
Yeah. But yeah, we started doing something that I've seen before, but it's a little different. And, instead of, it's called, we're calling it Video Game Book Club, but we're not reading. I don't read. You can tell. You'll tell. We don't read.
That's an Arkansas on you.
Yeah, Arkansas. But yeah, to that point, we do a game pretty much every couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, depending on how long the game is. We just finished, or we're about to finish, Reanimal.
Oh. And
the goal is hey, if no one else in your friend space is playing Reanimal, do you want to come play with us and talk about it every week on Monday nights? So that's the journey we're on right now, and just trying to figure out a way to build community.
Sure.
Find people that want to play games that maybe that they haven't played in a while. We've never played Wolf Among Us. We just finished that.
Wow. What'd you think?
On the last 2 weeks. It was fun. Never played it. None of us have at JK Games. So we went back in time and played that, and had a lot of people join us and share their thoughts and compare decisions. So yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Where can people keep up with the book club?
JK Games Podcast.
There
you just can search for it everywhere. We're here. We're on Twitch. You'll find us there live if you want to participate and talk to us about the games we're playing. Yeah, good stuff.
We already got a super chat about you. Samson XP super chat that says, buying Jerica a hot dog shot from your friends at Grow Up Level Up.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Big hot dog fan over here.
What's a hot dog shot? Is it eating a hot dog real quick?
It's hot dog water. That's a thing.
Just the water. Okay, sure. I know hot dog water.
Just the water.
Yeah, okay.
I made a drink one night,
So I appreciate this. So you're boiling your dogs.
Yeah, I'm a big boiler. Sometimes if I'm in a tight spot, I just wrap the hot dog in a wet paper towel and microwave it. Pretty simple. I'm a simple gal.
That's something you
A lot of
don't
people
admit.
hate on me for
That's
that. I'm
something you
like,
don't
seriously?
admit, Jerica. You don't admit that.
Oh, really?
That's a secret between you and the microwave. You don't need to tell everybody that.
Damn.
But I appreciate
Well,
that. See, yeah, coming from
that's just
Chicago, doing the Portillo's thing my whole life, for me, a hot dog is boiled. And so when
I mean,
when
that's
people
the
are
best
like,
way.
hey, toss it on the grill, I'm like, absolutely not. Disgusting. I don't want a char dog. Not something.
Nah, not big. I agree. I agree there.
Fair enough. Remember, everybody, if you're watching live, be part of the show, just like Samson XP was by super chatting on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. And remember, we couldn't do this without our Patreon producers over at patreon.com/kindafunny. So thank you, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 6 items on the Roper Report.
Baker's dozen.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Number 1 on the Roper Report. Nintendo announces Pokemon FireRed, LeafGreen on Switch. Now, audience waking up, looking at the news, excited about this, maybe mad about this. We'll get to all that in a second. I use the term announce so loosely because clearly this had to have been a leak. Yes, no one currently in the morning is calling it a leak. Last night, when I stopped playing Redacted and I opened my phone and saw a Wario 64 BS from fucking the middle of the 10:28 p.m. Pacific, Wario just puts up, hey, Pokemon FireRed / LeafGreen are coming to the Switch on February 27th, $19.99 each, listed on the Switch eShop in the coming soon section. Like, clearly, this isn't how they wanted to do this, right? Like, they didn't want in the middle of the night just to throw it out there and have it pop, but they did. It happened. You imagine, of course, we are 1 week away to the day. 1 week away from our Pokemon Presents. It'll be the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. Everyone is expecting big things. We're about to confirm it because what I'm calling damage control at 3:14 a.m. I got a press release that reads, as the Pokemon brand celebrates 30 years, the Pokemon Company Group will mark Pokemon Day 2026 with a special Pokemon Presents video presentation on Friday, February 27th at 6 a.m. Pacific on all the official YouTube and Twitch channels. The Pokemon Company Group also revealed that Pokemon FireRed version and Pokemon LeafGreen version will launch on Nintendo Switch following the conclusion of Pokemon Presents. So again, pause the press release. Clearly, Jerica, this was going to be, and it's out now. Hey, look at this. This was supposed to be a big deal on next Friday, right?
Yeah, I guess someone got the. I feel like that makes more sense. But maybe the Switch.
Then putting it up at 10:38 on a random Thursday night. Yeah, probably. I digress. The press release continues. Originally released for the Game Boy Advance in 2004 as remakes of the 1996 Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games, Pokemon FireRed version and Pokemon LeafGreen versions will be available as download exclusive titles and playable on both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 systems. Trainers can also watch a new video showcasing the games on the official Pokemon YouTube channel. Kev, I should have put that link in there for you. Would you mind grabbing it? It's a nice little trailer. It's a nice little callback. We can just play it in the background. We don't need to look at it. Jerica, I have so much to say as a new Pokemon fan and now the only Pokemon fan at Kinda Funny of my excitement for this. But then, of course, there's the internet anger, understandably to some regard, as of course, some people are like, it should be $20 for both, not $20 a piece. Some people are like, yo, you have a GBA NSO Classics collection. Why wouldn't you just put them in there? There's so much going on here. Do you want to start with the good stuff, or do you want me even to go further on? Because Tom Phillips at IGN has Nintendo putting up an FAQ trying to answer some of these questions.
Let's push it. Let's go as far as we can go.
We go to IGN.com where Tom Phillips writes...
Real quick, what trailer did you want up?
The one announcing this, FireRed, Leaf Green from Nintendo. It should be on the Pokemon page, brand new.
Thank you.
Nintendo has released a lengthy Q&A article discussing its upcoming Switch re-releases of Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen and addresses its decision to launch them separately rather than as part of the Nintendo Switch online service like numerous other Game Boy Advance titles. In response to the question, quote, "Why are you handling these classic games differently?" end quote, Nintendo writes, "In celebration of 30 years of Pokemon, we thought it would be fun to return to the ultimate versions of the original Pokemon adventures in the Kanto region with these special releases." End quote. And in response to the question, will these games also be coming to the Game Boy Advance Nintendo Classics Collection? Nintendo replies, "These games are being offered as standalone software and are not planned to release as part of the Game Boy Advance Nintendo Classics Collection." End quote. Neither of these answers seem to address the question of why the games would not also be part of Switch Online's GBA collection, parentheses, as a nice way for subscribers to access them at no extra cost, or why the games are priced at $20 each, a cost that has raised many fans' eyebrows. Indeed, the whole Q&A reads as a rather defensive list of answers to questions Nintendo has anticipated from fans who naturally raise in response to decision-making here. Quote, "If these titles are meant to celebrate 30 years of Pokemon, why aren't you releasing the original Pokemon Blue version and Pokemon Red versions of the game that launched 30 years ago?" reads another preempted question. Quote, "We thought users will appreciate the ultimate versions of those original adventures, which add various features and upgrades to the contents of Pokemon Red version and Pokemon Blue version," comes the reply. "That's fair enough." This is Tom again at IGN. "That's fair enough, but then having to open the red and blue can of worms, Nintendo goes on to preempt another popular question. Quote, "Will you add the original Pokemon Red version and Blue version or other Pokemon games to the Nintendo Classics Collection available with Nintendo Switch Online?" It's a question Nintendo fans have asked since the Game Boy titles were announced for Nintendo Switch Online years ago. In response, Nintendo lists a selection of Pokemon spin-off games, which are already available via the service, and then concludes with, quote, "We have nothing to announce regarding any other potential titles," end quote. One notable response suggests that Nintendo sees its launch strategy for FireRed and LeafGreen as likely a one-off. Quote, "What about other classic games beyond Pokemon titles? Is this the return to standalone virtual console type offerings?" The response, quote, "We remain focused on offering classic games through Nintendo Switch Online and Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack," end quote. But again, other than Nintendo thinking this solution would be fun, there's little reasoning given to why FireRed and LeafGreen will be a costly exception to its usual rule. Of course, Nintendo is unlikely to turn around and say to fans that really money is the reason why it's doing this, whether that is the motivating factor here or not. And of course, despite any complaints online, these relaunches will undoubtedly sell very well. Other fans have suggested that Nintendo is technically unable to offer FireRed and LeafGreen via its Nintendo Switch Online GBA catalog, which typically allows players to load multiple save states and rewind gameplay. Such antics would likely create havoc for the Pokemon Company by allowing for easier duplication of Pokemon, period. With just this list of Q&A answers to go on, though, that remains speculation. Pokemon will celebrate its 30th anniversary next Friday, February 27th, with its annual Pokemon Presents live stream. Of course, now this is Greg, no longer Tom, no longer Nintendo. We're going big. We expect very big things out of this, which I want your opinions on, predictions on, Jerica, after we talk about all of this stuff. But it's worth calling out, everybody. Next week, Friday, February 27th, 6 a.m. Pacific time, we will be live in the studio. It will be me, Greg Miller, the biggest Pokemon fan at Kinda Funny, and Tim Geddes. Tim is coming back to do this, to react to the Pokemon thing, because we are expecting that big of a show. We will be live at 6 a.m., not your usual thing. And again, Kevin, I want to talk to you about this beforehand, but the world exploded. So now we're making the beans live. You ready? We're making beans, Kevin. We're going to come in at 6 a.m. Roger's going to run it because, of course, if you didn't know, we're doing a fucking marathon stream for Resident Evil that day as well. Fate was not kind to us on a production schedule on how much content we need to do. But here's my...
And wait, so you want me to bring a slow cooker? We're making beans? Is that what you're saying?
We're showing people how we make the beans. We're showing
you don't eat beans.
We're sausage. We're going to show how the sausage gets made, Kevin.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool. We do the direct reaction. Let's say it's an hour, maybe 30 minutes, but let's just say it's an hour, right? 6 to 7, then 7 to 8, obviously me and Tim doing the Gamescast reacts, all that jazz, recapping it all. Is it possible, Kevin, in any way, shape, or form, for it to be easy, that at 8 o'clock, I can start streaming Pokemon Leaf Green because Jen wants to do FireRed, and then go all the way up to Games Daily? Like, is there a way to set that up that'll be easy for Roger, or is that too hard?
I think. Huh. See, the Roger factor is interesting. I think yes, it is easy.
Okay.
Where the day before we're doing a thing and we're gonna have the Switch there. I think right.
Right.
So we just leave it there.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And so
then we
hopefully
set up the OBS thing or whatever.
Yeah. That's a button press. So it should be. I think it's doable.
Okay. Cool. Let's work on that, and let's work on that because I want to make an even bigger day out of Pokemon Day than it already will be.
Right.
Love you, Kev. Jericho, I love you as well. Now that we have all the information on the table, where do you want to start?
I want to talk about the fact that why is it so why is Pokemon so complicated? And I've been pondering on that and like just why can't I have all these games I had from my childhood like on this awesome portable Switch too, right?
Yeah.
And I think with Pokemon, I always sort of have to like remember like it's not just Pokemon or Nintendo, like it's 3 different branches like controlling this IP and making sure that it stays valuable and it stays relevant and the wrong decisions aren't being made. Granted, I'm actually on the side of like, I'm glad this is just coming to the shop. I don't want to pay $20. I know it's just $20 a year, if I'm not mistaken, for the Nintendo Online store, but
I coast
I'd
on
rather
Tim's.
just
I'm
pay
not
it
sure.
and own it and be done. Huh?
I said I coast on Tim's, so I don't even know how much it
It's
costs.
the company.
Oh, okay.
I coast on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
company. We have it for
There it is.
editorial purposes. Why is my wife on there?
Nice.
Nobody knows. But
I'm on there too.
Yeah, of course you are. Joey is too. I see. We share games. It's great. Yeah, I think you nail something that we don't talk a lot about when we talk about Pokemon. But yes, of course, it's Nintendo. Then it's the Pokemon Company, and then it's Game Freak that all own a piece of this pie, right? So there is stuff going on. It's always funny in video games and any fandom to see the fans who do like the meme where they fucking block the corporation and take the arrows to the back or whatever. So like the people who are like, well, you couldn't do it because of the save states and the things like that. And it's like, that could be an actual answer. I know, something that these articles that we read here don't talk about, but it shows here, right? And I might get the terminology wrong because, of course, I'm the new generation of Pokemon fan. Remember, this ties into Pokemon Home, so you can be throwing your Pokemon all over the place, which I imagine might be a hurdle if you were trying to do that through NSO, or at least a hurdle that would require time, investment, in money. And they're like, we're not going to do that for an NSO game. But I think I think we've all known for a long time that the Pokemon games aren't on there because they can do this kind of shit. That they can go out and they can know they're going to be able to dip into your pocket and get this all the time. And it's an interesting push and pull of it where I'm so stoked about this. Like I did a Greg Way today talking about it just from the positive perspective, knowing we would get into the negative stuff here. But from a positive perspective today, waking up, it happened, when Jen and Ben were asleep last night, getting to tell them this is happening, Jen being so excited, like, Ben, these are my Pokemon games. This is where I started. Like, we're going to play them together. And like her being like, I'm going to take red. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'll take green. And like having that conversation of what we're going to do and how we're going to play it. And even last night, I went on NSO before this happened. I was looking around at games because I just got that N64 controller hot. And I was like, what can I play? And I was like, oh, what other RPGs are on here? And I've been hankering for a Pokemon and had real conversations and thoughts about doing Sword and Shield, which I haven't given the full chance to because I came on more of a Scarlet Violet person. But then I didn't want to burn myself out for Gen 10. I want to be hungry for Gen 10. This seems like such a nice, hey, here you go. It's Pokemon Day. Here's a cool thing that would have been awesome to just have announced on that day and not given a week of oxygen for people to be angry about. And on top of that, the fact that Pokopia is also happening imminently and we're going to have a weird ass Pokemon game there to play with. Like, I am excited about that. I then understand where other people are at, like you, Jericho, of like, oh, I don't even want to subscribe to NSO, so why does it matter? I understand people who are subscribed. I see the people who are like mad about $20. I see the people who are wishing they were together for $20. It's such an interesting thing, but at the end of the day, what really happens is Pokemon sells. And so we're back to the conversation we had yesterday with PlayStation. We're back on the place of talking about earlier this week of where in general video games are, of that art and commerce and capitalism slamming into each other and pricing things that they know you'll buy and want to go out and get. So I'm not mad about it, but I understand being mad about it, if that makes sense, Jerica.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the what was the the Switch 2 welcome tours, $10.
Right,
For
right,
$10 more, you can have this. So like, is it surprising that it's a $20 game on the Nintendo shop? No. And I think for me, I think it's a very fair price for something that literally, if you don't have it physically, like they're so expensive. You know, I've been collecting a lot of like the older games so I can play. I have an Analog Pocket so I can play.
Yeah.
And it just sucks. Like, you know, I just want to be able to have access, and it's nice that this is going to be an option to play some of these games. But on the flip side, you know what I really want? My dream game, my dream Pokemon game. Because I haven't been hot on a Pokemon game in a long time.
Sure.
Like current, this gen titles. ZA is fun, but literally all I want is a HD 2D remake of any of these games, red, blue,
Sure.
yellow. And like seeing this, for me, it makes me feel like that might not happen at some point. Like you would assume it's someone's talking about this potential remake, but keep the nostalgia there.
Yeah.
That's for me personally, but I'm still excited this is happening. I'm gonna play these, but man, I just really want like a true remake of this kind of experience.
Yeah, I think that is probable. I understand that Pokemon moves at an interesting pace and to their own beat of their own drum on top of a Nintendo beat of their drum and all this stuff. But I think with the amount of these in-between spin-offs you see between the gens, I think you could easily see them do that. And I also think that the unquestionable success they're going to see with FireRed and LeafGreen is going to make them go, what else do we do here? Do we put more out? Do we put out blue? Do we put out yellow? How do you do this? I think it goes so far beyond the NSO experience. I think that they have kept them off of that for the reasons listed here, the home stuff, the whatever, the battling, all stuff that I'm not even 1,000% familiar with, right? But whatever it is to get these games out to people and sell them again, I think they will do, Jerica. I want to jump into some super chats here. We have a lot. It's Tover9000 says, I paid $100 for a LeafGreen cart a few months ago. Happy to get these on Switch for $20. And again, that's part of the equation where it is collectors like yourself, Jerica, like Topher, wanting to go off and have that experience, but have it accessible on the new hardware versus me so excited to see what captivated people back then. And the fact that it seems like, you know, with the rivals, and it seems like there's a bit more harder edges to these Pokemon games than there are the very nice rounded, everything's hunky-dory experiences I play now. I'm stoked to jump in, let alone share it with Ben and have it there. BG25800 says, do you think this opens up the pathway for the older Pokemon games to release on Switch? How would Nintendo solve for the dual screen issue? I think all options are on the table for Pokemon across the board. When you're talking about the DS ones, right, and the dual screen issue, that's a harder ball of wax, but that's where you could see, I think, maybe these remakes come in and be there. I think Nintendo and the Pokemon Company understand the cash cow they have and what they can do with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if you put the development into somehow figuring that out. We move on. Andrew Brown says, there's more content in FireRed and LeafGreen than the base Sword and Shield. I'm excited to dive into that. So you've played these before, Jerica, yes?
I actually have not the remake of them. Like I haven't played these versions.
Okay,
like
okay.
I hopped off playing Pokemon probably around like literally I texted a friend this morning. I was like, the last physical Pokemon game I bought in that era was Sapphire. And after that, if it was around that time, I just missed it. But of course I played Red and Blue and always wanted to play these games I've never played. So that's why I'm also just eager to finally have them.
Are you bummed that it got announced or leaked or whatever today?
Nah.
I am. Fuck. I don't like sitting here going, oh man, I could be playing on a week. I'll be playing that. I'd rather know it's just happening. It's there.
That makes sense.
Aaron Lime says they might not be making any substantial changes to these versions, like online, because of the game corners in them, which could lead to re-rating them with the ESRB, which could make them not E-rated. What is the game corners? I don't even know what that means.
I've never heard of it.
Everybody, chat, explain that to me. Super chat, you're wrong. Again, I'm the voice of the new Pokemon generation. I don't know the old Pokemon generation. Were these people killing people? Oh, it's gambling. It's just gambling. It's casinos.
Oh.
See, I jumped to murder, not so much murdering your wallet / getting you addicted to this. Street Shadow says, I'm so surprised people are surprised at the price and how Nintendo are rolling this out. I expected this. These are going to make more money than in NSO. Of course they are. It's also easier to wrap your head around. I think when you sit there and you talk about the lapsed Pokemon fan who hears about this and is going to be enticed to go buy a Switch, or a lapsed Pokemon fan whose kids now have Switch, the idea of, another subscription service, that is harder for them to wrap their head around versus, hey, here's $20, go play the game and be done with it. Saul Herrera says, as a Nintendo fan and stockholder for them, I laugh in emulation, because fuck that. No wonder stock's dropping $30 in the last 6 months. We'll see what the stock does when it sells a gajillion FireRed and LeafGreens, but you're not wrong in terms of that. Emulation, this was the big thing I saw both last night as people reacted to it, and then even in the comments of a couple articles like IGN and GameSpot today, right? Where it's like, but I can play them on my phone for free and all these. It's like, well, yeah. You don't have to go to the movies either. You can find free versions of the movies on the dark web too, but it's like, don't you want, there's plenty of people like me that just want it to be easy and legal and support what they want and just do the thing, click the button and buy it. And this is one of those rare occasions where people are like, oh, Greg, you don't even know. You don't pay for games. I assure you, I will be paying for probably 3 copies of Pokemon Red and fucking Green here in a second. Jumping through some of these other ones, make sure we get it all done. Jericho, what are your expectations for Pokemon Day next week?
I mean, obviously the next big game, and then we'll probably get, I'm sure I'm eager to see like what the next, not, I feel like with ZA it was also like a, not experimental, but they're always trying, what's the new thing for the next big Pokemon game?
Yeah.
And I'm sure, and there was like, the in-between games that sort of removed themselves from like the core gameplay that we're used to and like be something different. We got, Pokopia coming out. That's a unique, it's not like a core game, but like it's an idea that they're pushing with Pokemon. So I'm excited to see the next gen, like full Pokemon game for Switch 2 will be cool to see.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping we get some kind of tease for like, what's the next big weird Pokemon game that maybe can bring me back in. Cause like I said, I just haven't been brought back into Pokemon in a long time. I played a little ZA, but it's still like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just for ZA specifically, was it the environments, the world felt not as polished as I wanted it to be. I don't know. I just want it to feel more personal when I'm playing Pokemon, and I just didn't get that from that game. So
do you think Gen 10
do
you think Gen 10 has a chance to do that? Because that's been the big conversation here. We were supposed to do our predictions for Pokemon Presents yesterday, but of course Blue Point died. We'll do it on Monday, but granted, a new fan to the series, but someone who's watched the industry for so long, I am expecting Gen 10 to be a big fucking deal. I have drank my own Kool-Aid that I think this could be the one with voice acting. That this could be the one with like you're going into battle and you get like I'm playing the Monster Hunter Stories, or I was playing Monster Hunter Stories 3's demo, right? And like when you go into battle, the way it's like animated and it's beautiful and it's like these things, like let's go, like this is the one. This is Gen 10 is lining up for the 30th anniversary. Like I feel like this one can't just be another Pokemon. And everybody's going, oh, Greg. So I know that I'm dreaming big here. But again, it's Gen 10, right?
Greg, they might go back to full flat 2D. You can't get yourself that excited.
Dude, if they go back to full flat 2D, that'd be hot as hell. That'd be,
okay.
You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right up Jericho and I's alley.
That's what I want. I'd love that to be the thing they try. Like, but yeah, to your point, like the next big, I just haven't had that moment yet. So I'm not optimistic, even though the stars are perfectly aligned, just how my expectations have been and what's actually happened with the new Pokemon game. I'm just usually let down and I'm like, come on, y'all. Why can't Pokemon just get to the point where I'm like blown away? Like this feels like a Pokemon game that I could play in 2026 or whenever it comes out, like I would just want to have my socks knocked off, and this looks really, really cool. I'm not optimistic about it happening just because I haven't had that happen yet.
Both chats are currently very much the James Franco first time meme. Where it's like, oh, this is how you know Greg's a new fan, is that he thinks there's going to be, and there has to be this time. In line with this, there's a super chat. BG25800 says, barring any announcements on Pokemon Day, this LeafGreen FireRed will be the only Pokemon game coming to Switch 1 this year, as Pokopia and Gen 10 are Switch 2 exclusive. And chat, has there been confirmation that Gen 10 is going to be Switch 2 exclusive? I'm not saying it's not. I just don't remember seeing anything official. And until it's official, we need to say it's not official. Do you think it'll be Switch 2 exclusive, Jerica?
How things are happening right now, probably not. Like, it might not. I don't know. I feel like I think it will be Switch and Switch 2. I think that makes the most sense. I don't know if they were planning for that before the the chip shortage situation, but if I was Nintendo, I would want to make sure that it could be something that both consoles can access. But who am I? I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's official confirmation, which of course makes perfect sense. But it's like, oh, somebody's calling out that Pokemon's never done cross-gen before. With how Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokemon Company treat this franchise, I would be shocked if this was Switch 2 exclusive. I hope it is. But I think, to our point here, they want to make as much money as possible off of it and continue to make Pokemon the biggest thing in the world. And so when there's, 150 million Switches in the wild, number ones?
Yeah.
I don't think you throw that away and say, oh no, this is it. We're going to jump to Switch 2. It'd be awesome if they did. I would love that if they did, but Ron Jones.
Why I don't think this next game will be the one that finally wins me over. Maybe the next one though.
That sucks. Street Shadow says, we have a misplaced expectation of what Pokemon is and has been. As a 35-year-old who plays these games for a decade, accepting the reality of Pokemon and seeing how my son reacts to it changes my perspective. Street Shadow, I'm right there with you, of course.
Not wrong.
I'm right there with you of like Ben connecting with Pokemon is what brought me into Pokemon. I couldn't figure it out as an adult how to get in. But when I saw it through the eyes of a child and my son being stoked about it and yada, 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 then I was like, okay, here we go. A lot of people are pointing out, there's an argument in chat. The comment was, there's never been a cross-gen Pokemon game. People are saying ZA's cross-gen. The comments are very meant, I think, a gen. Like a legit Pokemon, what do you call it? A mainline Pokemon, not a spin-off.
Yes.
Not like anything like that. So it is interesting, I guess, in the conversation of it, that Pokopia is, in fact, a Switch 2 exclusive. But I think if I'm the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Nintendo, I look at that and I go, this is a niche spin-off Pokemon game that is going to appeal to a very specific Pokemon / cozy gamer that isn't everybody in the world. When you jump to Gen 10 Pokemon, I think they're going to want that to be everywhere, which I guess does go against me saying they might actually push it because it would be held back by the Switch. But I digress. You can't stop me, everybody. I'm excited. I get to go back and play Gen's Pokemon. I get to play the first Pokemon. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Final one in this context comes from Mr. Hawks. Mr. Hawks. What if the hook for Gen 10 is that one version is a Switch 1 game and the other is a full-on Switch 2 game? Also, Jericho rules. Blaster Goblins rules.
That's it. Correct.
That's a fucking fascinating take, Mr. Hawks, but I think it's too much work. I think it's too much work for what's going on. Whatever. I call him Mr. Cox. Yeah. Mr. Hawks. Sorry, everybody. Oh, that's what I did the first time. Thought you. I love that idea. In terms of that's how you'd really get somebody to buy two versions of a game. I guess I'm going to end up buying two anyway. One for me, one for Ben, one for Jen. I like it, but no, it's too much work. It won't happen. But I'm still expecting. I've drank the Pokemon Kool-Aid. I am young. My eyes are wide. I haven't been burned a million times. And I won't lie to you. Kevin's saying it could just be a flat two. Is that a rumor, Kevin, or are you just making that up?
No, I was just trying to see like what's the opposite of what you were saying.
Dude, you know how much I love my Octopath games.
That's what I
wait,
want.
hold on. No, that's a very stylized and beautiful looking design. That's not what we're talking about.
I'm excited for this LeafGreen, and I'm going to be playing that. That doesn't look.
I'm excited for you too. This is a big deal, and don't look up anything. Just play the game. Just play the game and get as far as you can
before I get angry that it's not easy.
No,
I don't know what to do.
No, I mean, just like if you beat what you think the game is, then there'll be more, and you'll be like,
that.
Whoa, what is this? What is this?
Everybody, what is this? This is Kind of Funny Games Daily, one of the many live talk shows we do each and every weekday here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, Apple, Spotify, every podcast service under the sun. If you like it, pick up a membership. Patreon.com/kindoffunny, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, Apple, Spotify. I screwed it up. Of course, you get the membership. You get all of our shows ad-free. You get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a series I call Greg Way. And yesterday was a delightful 7-minute one of me and my son, both mic'd, him giving you his rundown of getting to go to the Nintendo store early, I guess, and get the My Mario stuff. And of course, you get good karma for supporting an 11-year-old small business all about live talk shows. But right now, you're not using your benefits. I don't have that register right now. So here's a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Boot.dev. Ready to learn a new skill and become a software developer? Kevin is, and that's why he's been using Boot.dev to learn to code.
My favorite feature is that you could find a solution that works, but then afterwards, you can hit solution and see the way that they were trying to teach you to do it. That's really cool.
Boot.dev takes you from beginner to expert the fun way through a hands-on RPG-like experience. Plus, Boot.dev just launched the Training Grounds, a place where you can grind infinite challenges to give you as much practice as you need before you forge ahead in your own coursework. All content is free to read and watch. A paid membership unlocks interactive features like hands-on coding, progress tracking, and game mechanics. Bored learners quit. Smart learners never get bored. Learn to code by doing what you'll actually be doing at a job, building real projects. Go to boot.dev and use code KINDAFUNNY to get 25% off your entire first year on the annual plan. That's boot.dev and use code KINDAFUNNY to get 25% off. This episode is brought to you by Shopify. You know what I hate? Trying to remember my payment info when I get to the checkout page on all the websites I visit. You know what makes that a breeze? That big, beautiful purple pay button that has all my info stored. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the United States. From household names like Chubbies and Mattel to brands just getting started. Get started with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. See less carts go abandoned and more sales go with Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/kindafunny. Go to shopify.com/kindafunny. Number 2 on the Roper Report, the Supreme Court rules against Trump's tariffs that caused console price hikes. We go to Zack over at Kotaku. On Friday, the Supreme Court of the United States of America ruled against the majority of President Donald Trump's tariffs, including those enacted using a decades-old law reserved for a national emergency. These 2025 tariffs led to a last-minute Switch 2 pre-order delay, as well as an increased video game console and accessory price. It's a major setback for the president, and it could help alleviate rising gaming costs, but it also might make for nothing, as Trump will likely move to reactivate the tariffs using different legal methods. In 2025, President Trump used the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the IEEPA, and if it comes up again, I'm going to call it the IEEPA, to enact tariffs against a large list of countries. No previous president had ever used the law to impose tariffs against other nations. The court was split, shockingly, 6-3 in its decision to rule that Trump's unprecedented use of the IEEPA was illegal, with Chief Justice John Roberts writing the majority opinion. Quote, "The president asserts the extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration, and scope," wrote Roberts. But the chief wrote that Congress has never said the language in the IEEPA applied to tariffs, adding, quote, "We hold that IEEPA does not authorize the president to impose tariffs," end quote. Roberts was joined by the 3 liberal justices, as well as 2 conservatives, Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett. It should be noted that not all of Trump's tariffs are now gone, as not all of them were enacted using the IEEPA, but many of his so-called reciprocal taxes have now been ruled illegal. Last year, Trump's reciprocal tariffs and his trade war against countries like China and Canada directly led to Nintendo delaying pre-orders of the Switch 2 in April. In August, the company quietly raised the prices on many Switch accessories and on various models of the original console. Other companies like Sony and Microsoft followed suit with similar price increases on hardware and accessories as a result of tariffs against countries that produce many of the parts needed to manufacture gaming hardware. In a better, less horrible timeline, most of Trump's trade war tariffs being deemed illegal would lead to video game hardware prices going down. But we don't live in that timeline. President Trump has many different legal avenues for reinstating many of the now illegal tariffs, as helpfully pointed out by a Bloomberg chart, if you want to go read it there. Even if all of these legal backup plans fail and he's unable to get all or most of his precious tariffs made legal again, console and gaming PC prices are likely to keep going up and up and up due to the ongoing memory shortage caused by AI hyperscalers racing to build massive data centers. But at least you can take comfort in knowing that Trump is having a bad day today. That's something, right? Jerica, fuck Donald Trump.
Yeah. Agreed.
It sucks. This is the worst part of this whole fucking timeline, as Zack points out. This happens, great. Nothing will change. Cat's out of the bag. Everything's fucked.
Damage is done. You know, I don't know if we ever see a more affordable option for consoles or accessories, games, There's been so many ripple effects and so many variables that we're seeing impacts in, and yeah, not great.
It's nice to see him take an L.
Maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, take an L. That's great. You know, Supreme Court definitely has been a shit show. So it's nice to see something here for an L, but what it actually leads to, nobody fucking knows, and that sucks. But again, an L. Hooray. We'll move on to story number 3. Another hooray, I guess. A BioShock movie is planned to coincide with the new game release, apparently. This is Eddie over at GameSpot. A BioShock movie is happening now at Netflix, and it's apparently planned to coincide with the release of a new version of the game. That's according to producer Roy Lee, who said in an interview that Netflix and rights owner Take-Two are, quote, very anxious to see the movie come out, end quote, because the plan is for it to coincide with some of the potential new incarnations of the game, end quote. Lee did not name any specific games outright, but Take-Two recently reiterated that the long-in-development BioShock 4 will see the light of day, ... someday. A remake of the original BioShock was reportedly in development, but was canceled in 2025. As for a BioShock movie, Lee told Collider the plan was to make it a few years back, but director Francis Lawrence had a full plate with The Long Walk and The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. That movie is set for release this December. Lee said Lawrence will be in post-production on that movie until at least September, so it might still be some time before the BioShock movie gets made. For now, the intent is for Lawrence to begin production on the BioShock movie in 2027. Quote, it's steadily on the path, but you know how it goes. It's so many things could get in the way, but I know that the intent is to hopefully get in production next year, end quote. A BioShock movie has been in development for more than a decade now, with Pirates of the Caribbean director Gore Verbinski originally tapped to direct the theatrical release. He pushed for a big-budget, R-rated version, and the studio reportedly balked after Watch What Men flopped. Lee said in 2024, the BioShock movie at Netflix scaled back to become more personal in wake of the regime change at Netflix that reportedly sought quality over quantity and more manageable budgets. Blade Runner 2049's Michael Green and Terminator Dark Fate's Justin Rhodes are working on the script. There's no word on cast yet, which makes sense given there's no production start date. As for BioShock 4, the game, Take-Two boss Strauss Zelnick recently said the game is not dead and will come out, quote-unquote, without question. He offered this assurance to fans in the wake of BioShock 4 undergoing a partial overhaul to improve key areas. Developer Cloud Chamber also suffered layoffs, with studio head Kelly Gilmore departing and former Diablo boss Rod Ferguson taking over. Some may recall how Ferguson was called in years ago to be a closer for BioShock Infinite and to get the game out the door. Jerica, are you ever going to play BioShock 4? Is that a game that we will actually touch a controller and play for?
I feel like it's been like 10 years. Might have been longer than 10 years since something was announced that something's happening. But I don't think so. I don't know. Like it's just been so muddy with communication on this game. If you asked me before this conversation, hey, do you have any updates on BioShock 4? I'm like, I haven't even thought about it in a long time. But
right.
yeah, are they still working on that?
BioShock Infinite came out March 2013. So yes, it's been over 10 years since you played a BioShock. Dang. Outrageous.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if this ship sailed, but like they seem to be committed to another form of media to present it on. So as far as a movie or a TV show, like, maybe that's still to test. Is there a want for this world? Like, I mean, I'm down for it. I'd love another BioShock. I'm just trying not to hurt myself with this one.
That's the thing of you figure
hurt.
these kind of games that gestate for this long and have this kind of expectations. Let's say you aren't a BioShock fan. Let's say you've come to gaming the last 13 years and have only heard us talk about how much BioShock 1 was and how great BioShock 1 was and the big daddies and so on and so forth. Like, there's an expectation for what BioShock 4 would be, even though I guess 2 and infinite, various levels of quality on who you talk to. I just feel like this is the classic conglomerate AAA gestation of this happens, we rebooted it, we did this, we brought this, and eventually, even though they're Take-Two and they have GTA, eventually they're going to look at it and go, this just isn't coming together, cancel it, kill the studio, close it up, Cloud Chamber's gone. And the fact that, like, Ken Levine left, obviously, and started up his whole deal, Ghost Ship, I forget which one it is. And then, of course, Judas looks cool and sounds cool. The fact that that's going to get out before a BioShock 4 is crazy. Before the next
wild.
It's like insane that he was able to spin up the studio and get it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it won't either. But I don't know, man. I don't know. You're chasing something and clearly you're not finding it. And I don't know how much in 2026, we talk about this every day, how much, it's Ghost Story, thank you so much, how much profit there is, how much you need to be making. You look at this thing just hemorrhaging money. And I imagine, Rod got brought in to be the closer and get it on track and get it done. The silver lining to this, is the show, or the movie, I should say, at Netflix. Like, if they're looking at this as a transmedia IP, then they are going to try to make it work. And maybe, again, I'm just jaded and we'll be fine and it'll land in. I don't know. I just don't know.
Maybe it's a bad sign. It's like, hey, we need the show or we need the movie to be able to sort of like land the plane with, hey, now we got a new game coming. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The fact that both things are being worked on or like together for a franchise that does it still hold. I mean, for us, I'm sure it does, but like relevancy to other like new players, like
Sure.
I don't know.
And it's an interesting thing too. You bring it up of like trying to coincide with the movie, and it's like, well, the movie can be delayed so easily, and so many different things can go wrong there. Games, they're clearly struggling to get it where it needs to be and get it when it, like, you could have that. Oh, we're gonna hit the same date, but like, do you hold to that date if the game isn't up to where you want it to be? Do you push and miss it? And what if the movie sucks and this didn't work at all and nobody cares? Or what if it is what we talk about with The Last of Us to some degree, but more importantly, Fallout, of like, they fucking crushed this Fallout show and all the old Fallout games shoot up then because people are trying to play them. It would have been awesome to have a new Fallout or a new remaster or whatever there. Again, though, I would then say, well, let's remake BioShock 1 or remaster it or whatever the fuck it is and have that time out with it more. But who knows? Video game movies getting announced are a dime a dozen, so we'll see what actually ends up happening.
Yeah, I'm always hesitant when it's a movie. I think the show structure definitely gives the story more room to breathe. The fact that it's a movie, I'm a little
you got to shove a lot in there.
Yeah.
Kyle LaBeouf says, Super Chats, Infinite was incredible, but sold poorly. In this market, no shot that BioShock 4 sees the light of day. Again, I could see it, as I was talking yesterday, being a sunk cost thing where, listen, we've put this many years into it, put it out, and then, it does nothing. Like, what were the numbers? Chat, I need you, unless Jericho, I don't think you'd know this off the top of your head. What were the numbers on Mafia: The Old Country? Because I feel like that's a game that came out, did critically okay, but I just never hear people talk about. Like, I just feel like that came and went. And so did that sell well enough that people were happy with it? I remember there being something like, it sold 1 million, whatever, but were they, in any of these financial things, have they talked about being happy? It sold well? Okay, good.
Yeah, it's apparently did really good.
It sold well. Barnell, not great. Okay, well.
Oh shit. Well, I'm seeing that it seemed pretty successful.
Mafia Old Country sells over 800,000 units in the first 5 days. All right, fuck yeah. This is leaks and rumors, but I believe it.
Yeah.
Click on that one. There was one. Go to the top again. All the way. Yeah, and then what's that one there? Is Mafia Old Country has sold over 1.2 million copies. Click on that one.
There we go.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, this is analytics or whatever. So, but all right, good for them. But that's the one that's a weird one that it came out and like, did y'all play it? Did anyone play that? Because again, that was
I had a couple of folks play it, but like, and no one else was out. No one else was talking about this game when it came out. Not my my group.
In a lot of
Reference
no's,
base.
some yes. I did. I played it. Yes. Okay. It just seems like
No one
I
was
feel
telling
like
me, "Oh my god, you should play this."
I don't know, and we'll never get the actual honest to God answer from a Take-Two, though, right? Of like, okay,
Yeah.
you did 1.2 million in whatever the time period there was. What is the number you needed to hit for this to be a success? Like, is that good enough for what the years that went into this and all this other stuff? Or is it that was not where we wanted? And then, of course, there doesn't seem to be a lot of scuttlebutt of people talking about it. So what does that do for the franchise, the IP, the et cetera? Because I think some of that's applicable to thinking about bringing out a BioShock 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Let's move on to story number 4 and Jake Solomon's goodbye, his AI trailer, and more. This is Eddie over at GameSpot. Games industry veteran Jake Solomon has shared the first footage of his next game, but it comes as part of the developer also stating that his studio is shutting down and the game may never be released. After spending 20 plus years at Firaxis, Solomon founded Midsummer Studios in 2024 with the ambitious mission statement that it would quote unquote reinvent the life sim genre. The company said, I want to watch this with sound up. Can we wait, Kev? The company said at the time that it raised more than $6 million from a variety of investors, but it seems Midsummer will close without releasing any games. Solomon said, this is over on Twitter that he said this, he's really proud of the studio and the game that Midsummer was working on, which was called Burbank. It was a quote-unquote dream game for him. He said the studio wanted to show the game, quote, before we close the doors at Midsummer Studios, end quote, so the world can see what the team has been up to. I'm going to read his Twitter post in length, and then I want to finish the one last graph and then watch the video with you. Okay, Jericho? Mm-hmm. Jake tweeted, "We built a studio, we made a game, and I'm really proud of both. Before we close the doors at Midsummer Studios, I'd like to share a glimpse of Burbank, the game we poured our hearts into. It's like, quote, Life Sims plus The Truman Show, end quote, but it's more than that. I believe people are storytellers, and I want them to share whatever stories and characters they can dream up. Burbank lets you do that. We have moments playing this game where characters come alive in a way we've never experienced, and for an old game developer like me, that's special. What you're about to see is definitely pre-alpha, but this game was a dream of mine. Our team made it come true, so watch the dream with us. Our character," and then when you watch it, this will make more sense, because the follow-up tweet goes, "Our characters use AI for memory, reasoning, and speech. That's what lets you create anyone you want and drop them into any story you write. But all of our art is created by our talented artists. We had no interest in replacing any," with the little asterisks around it, "developers with AI." The final graph here from the write-up that, again, was Eddie at GameSpot. He described Burbank as a life sim plus The Truman Show, but also something that's more than that. The game would have allowed you to create your own TV show just by playing the game, or at least that was the idea. Now let's watch this with some audio up. Midsummer
I have
Studios.
to say, Jack, talking about my ex has me thinking about what I really want. And right now, that's you.
Is everything all right? Or are you just trying to get under my skin? Hey, Captain, rough morning already?
You have no idea, Lee. We've got a real zoo on our hands with this Turtle Fight Club business.
Arbor,
Turtle Fight Club.
I'm not sure I buy that you've got this under control, considering how that last jump shook us up.
Create different shows. The possibilities are endless, it says. Then pause it here. What kind of show do you want to make? And it's career, police, something else. Then you can go in and you have the characters you do. So for an audio listener, we've been following one character guy who's been in different scenes that have looked sci-fi, that have looked like drama, that have looked at a bar, right? But here you go. What kind of show do you want to make? Career, police, sci-fi, life. And then what genre do you want it to be? What's the protagonist's role? Go ahead, Kevin. They add film in front of a live studio audience. So if you're not a watcher, you're a listener. You're going in, making these characters, naming them, setting their personality, their speaking style, their voice. You can let it go, Kev. And then you drop them into these scenarios you're writing. Select or create any job. The story is yours. Is as creative as you. Then there's this backstory that's been generated. You can roll a dice to redo it. There's a purpose. There's memories of what you want to go in and put all this stuff into. And then you let it go, Kev. And then, yeah, Shadowhand inquiries. Meet or customize your morning cast. What's this episode about? It's so fucking hard to talk about this. Because as the point goes out, this is definitely pre-alpha, as Jake calls out. And Jake, I know from the XCOM days in interviews and stuff like that, right? So like, you want to always give devs the benefit of the doubt or whatever, but you put this out and you look at this thing and you go and it's just like, what are we fucking doing, Jerica? What are we fucking doing with AI?
You're more skilled.
Not the right things. Not the right things.
Let it go, Kev.
I feel like there's.
To explain our research findings.
This isn't good. This is not good.
Unlock new abilities. Create a better show as your cast levels up.
Uh-uh.
Do you want a catchphrase or the confession booth? And so, like, it's hard to criticize what we're seeing and hearing because I understand from previous game development and stuff that it's pre-alpha. This isn't the final product.
I've got to admit, I did have a thing with
if you're planning on using AI, and again, we're not into everything here, but if we're planning to use AI for voice, you assume we're doing that already. And the fucking soulless line delivery of all this, why would I give a shit that I'm writing or AI generating this random ass shit that then is happening, that's then delivered with all the panache and performance? I mean, what are we doing? Like, what the fuck is happening? And I mean, it's interesting, of course, that we're talking about the fact that he announced this studio, Midsummer Studios, in 2024, and here it is, boom, bust. And we look at this and it's like, yeah, like I don't think this was going to reinvent the life sim genre, something that is so personal and relies so much on personality. And what I would say relies so much on fucking soul. I don't know.
So this was shown to someone with a lot of money and they're like, here you go. Here's investors just giving up everything, millions of dollars.
$6 million.
Nah,
that ain't it.
That's the problem. This is where it becomes the problem. And I don't know, like, when did this get started? I can't remember if that was mentioned. Like,
they founded in 2024.
Okay, so pretty recent. Yeah.
This ain't it.
And I'm immediately
this
turned
ain't
off.
it. Yeah. And again, pre-alpha, I understand, but like, there's interesting ideas here that would be really cool if I felt like they weren't going to be the most generic, weird bullshit based on whatever AI can generate. So on the one hand, it always sucks to see a studio close. On the other hand, I'm happy to see it's already flushing out garbage AI shit. So AI sucks. AI fucking sucks. Generative AI fucking sucks, to be clear. We move on to story number 5. Resident Evil Requiem copies are already out there early, and Capcom is begging you to keep its secrets. A request from Capcom to the community. Please don't post or share pre-release leaks and spoilers from Resident Evil Requiem. We really want everyone to enjoy the game's story and experience as much as possible. Our legal department will continue to issue takedowns and deletion notices for leaks in order to preserve your day one experience. It's not long now until the game is out, so we look forward to seeing you all your reactions after your release. Your Capcom team. Jerica, are you excited for Requiem?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Big Resident Evil fan. We talked about it last night on Drop In, Drop Out, and then we're prepping to do that. That's our next focus game. So
nice.
like we are ready to dive in and talk about it with everyone each week. It's one of those games that always just checks a lot of boxes for me. With this one specifically, I'm excited to see Leon again, wondering how the story will play out and really like what. So I don't know. I feel like we talked about this last night, but I feel like Village just had a lot of ideas, and it sort of felt like it was a little all over the place, and some of the environments didn't really stick to a path, which sometimes is a good thing. But it was a lot to take in, and at one point I was like, I'm ready for this game to be over.
She gets it. She likes the medium more. She likes the medium more than Resident Evil Village, just like me. I'm very excited for this. I'm very excited for Requiem.
I'm avoiding everything myself. They won't get me. I haven't even seen the last 2 trailers. I just clicked over, skipped. Huh?
Said nice. I going in blind like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited about it here, of course. Remember, 1 week from today, yes, it's Pokemon Day. Yes, we're up at 6 a.m. Yes, we're streaming LeafGreen. But more importantly, we are locking Bless and Andy in the room for the marathon stream on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to play through this and be scaredy cats. But Not long now, but everybody keep your spoiler guards up. Jericho, when we get Resident Evil Requiem and find out the story, that'll be big news. But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
You go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the news items you need to know about.
That's right. It's story number 6, Wii News. Number 1 on Wii News. Sorry, Andy. Neo 3 reaches over 1 million copies sold worldwide. It's the fastest in franchise history. Games Radar Plus reports Battlefield 6 lead knows fans wants more maps, but won't be getting them in faster order to preserve quality. Quote, there are worlds in which we release hundreds of maps, but they're not fun, end quote. Good for them. Nair in the Orange Room launches April 7th on Steam. The House of the Dead 2 remake is now available on PS5 and Xbox Series. My Hero Academia, All's Justice is available now. Paddle, 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 Up, Up, Up DLC is out today. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero DLC 1 Hero of Justice is available on Switch and Switch 2 today. If you're a dork like me, Skate has revealed a roadmap for Season 3 and beyond, which is cool, but then they're locking an island behind a paywall, and people are losing their fucking shit, bringing up a dev thing from, I think, 2022, saying they wouldn't have any things locked down, and people are fucking mad. People are fucking mad. Ys 10 Proud Nordics is available now on Switch 2, PlayStation 5, and PC. And then we have a required reading for you. Over at IGN, the one, the only, kind of funny Games Daily Reporter of the Year, Rebecca Valentine says, Tunic, Night in the Woods publisher, says TikTok is creating and running racist Gen AI ads for its games without permission. The lead graph goes, Finji, publisher of beloved indie titles such as Night in the Woods and Tunic, and the developer behind Overland and Unusual June, says that TikTok has been using generative AI to modify its ads on the platform without permission and pushing those ads to its users without Finji's knowledge, including one ad that was modified to include a racist, sexualized stereotype of one of Finji's characters. AI sucks. AI fucking sucks. And that's it for Wii News. We turn our eyes to the Super Chats before we get you out of here. Mike Like Music says, what type do you think your Gen 10 starter will be? Oof. I don't do fire types enough. Now, of course, I hope my boy Hall Luch is there. He won't be, but what if he was? He won't be, but what if he was? But anyways. I also go for the cutest, and then I get burned, as you all know.
Yeah.
Quaxley's. What the fuck was that, man? What a horrible final evolution. Totodile worked out in ZA, though, so there you go.
Yeah.
Drop in, drop out pods, super chats, and says, we are so proud of you, Jericho. Jericho. Because that's your handle on everything, Jericho.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. That's Pikachu, too, right?
Yeah, it's my name, smushed with Pikachu. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Let's get here. Goldfish Boy says, thanks, kind of funny, for inspiring me. I recently started Quick Save, a video game news channel. It still needs a lot of polishing, but it gives me a much needed outlet. Love you guys and keep it up. We love you too. Congratulations on your independent contracting. Alvo, I'm gonna say Al Super Chat says, Skate locking a map area behind a paywall after promising no maps areas would be locked behind paywalls. We need to make changes as we go sometimes. Yes, that was their response to it as they're talking about it. What that means is, as you've all seen, the Steam concurrence for Skate drop into the fucking depths of hell. They're like, we got to make people pay for this thing, otherwise we're going to be closed up. So we'll see what happens there. Cognitive Clip says, here for Jericho, but I guess Greg is cool too. Thanks. I'll take it. Yeah, Matt makes the joke of they need to release Andy's FireRed. I want to save Tim this time around. Of course, never forget the Nuzlocke, Nicklocks that we did over there.
It's awesome.
And then C. Barry says, for the price, I wish it was Heart Gold / Soul Silver on Switch instead of FireRed and LeafGreen on phones. Do you think there's another shadow drop? In the future, 1,000% there'll be other shadow drops. This week, no. I think this is the shadow drop, which is sad that it got spoiled. And there might be I'm sure there'll be some trading card pack or something like that in the pocket version of TCP. Maybe something in Go. I don't know. Final one comes from Dexter. Player 4 is joining our family in June. I'm excited that my Aurora is going to have a sister to co-op her adventure with. Can't wait to meet you, Luna. Greg, will you be the godfather of my daughters? Love you. Congratulations, of course, for your June baby coming. Aurora, congratulations on having a sister named Luna. I will not be the godfather. Okay? I will not be the godfather. Satan father, different conversation, but we can have that later. Jerica Hanna from Drop In, Drop Out, from JK Games. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Where can people keep up with you?
Man, find us anywhere, like Drop In, Drop Out Pod. We do show every week there too. JK Games, you'll find us everywhere. Literally can go to dropindropout.com or dropindropoutpod.com and then jkgames.com. We have all our links and fun stuff there. Easy to find.
Love it. Of course, we want people to keep us honest at kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Ty the Pain says, while there has been no official confirmation that Gen 10 will be exclusive to Switch 2, there has been a number of leaks that included information about it not being available on the original Switch and that ZA would be the last Pokemon game on Switch 1. There are a number of articles talking about these leaks, all from Game Rant and Sarah Fields. So excellent news there. Thank you very much. Bander says, to correct the chatter, BioShock Infinite sold really well. 4 million in a few months and 11 million after 2 years. Not sure why the narrative was that it sold badly. Zaxxon Galaxian says, missed Wii news. Slay the Spire 2 has a release date of March 5th. Also, there's a new backyard baseball game announced coming this summer. First one in 10 years. Congratulations. And then Aaron Made You Laugh says, No Man's Sky Expedition 21 is going right now. So jump in there, everybody, if you want to play some new No Man's Sky content. But if you want to hang out with us all day long, guess what? Kind of Funny is all about live talk shows. After this, you're going to get Gamescast. It's me, Barrett, eventually Blessing, coming in to talk about the future of God of War and where we want to see it go. After that, they are streaming some video games, and then we're starting our weekend. We hope you have a great one. And remember, the Kind of Funny Games Daily is here each and every weekday morning, starting your programming day as we roll into Gamescast, in review, screencasts, all sorts of cool stuff. Of course, Kind of Feudy, the best video game show of all time. If you love what we do here, pick up a Kind of Funny membership, patreon.com/kindoffunny, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, Apple, Spotify, get everything ad free, get your daily dose of me, and of course, get good karma for supporting an 11-person, 11-year-old small business. For now, it's time for this show to end. So until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.